Good morning or good evening, good friends of the channel. I know, like many people, you probably prefer convenience over a lot of things, right? You yourself are an avid enjoyer of clicking something and it works, or using something and it just works. Using Spotify and it just works. You have your music on demand. You can download it, and it gives you kind of this false sense of the fact that you now own this music. Convenience is a good thing. It can be a good thing. And sure, a lot of things improve because of convenience. We get a lot more time. We get a lot more done in a day. If you use the convenience wisely, you can use convenience at your disposal to make your life better. But I have the theory that convenience is what's going to lead us to a bit of a downfall, because if you think about it and you look at it, convenience is pretty much everywhere now, and everything that we are doing, leading towards, is that. It's simply dopamine real quick at your fingertips because it's convenient. Music in your ears because it's convenient. You order food that's extremely unhealthy because it's convenient. You do this action because it's convenient. That's absolutely everything nowadays. You use these headphones with no wires because it's convenient. Now, this whole video, the whole idea of this video came about because I was talking to my brother, and if you're watching this, hi. But I was talking to him about the fact that he has another pair of wireless, like true wireless buds that just broke on him once again. He is what you would call a bit of a power user. Like, he uses them a lot, so it does make sense that they will break more often than, let's say, mine, because I don't use them as much. But I talked to him about getting like a pair of SoundNote Zeros, right? I have these. They're in-ear monitors. They have a wire. They will most likely work for a much longer period of time. Incredibly good sound quality, especially for the price. They're about £20 or so. They're fantastic. I use them all the time. He says no, because cables. He hates cables, and he will never go back to something that's wired. Here's the whole convenience thing, right? He is actively choosing to buy something that's technically a bit of an inferior product. The sound quality is worse. Battery life exists, right? You don't have a battery life with wires. They just work. They always work. Sure, you have a cable, but I've grown up. I'm like from this whole idea that everything needs to be wireless. Wired tends to be better, so I just use it because it's more functional. So he refuses to basically get a fantastic pair of headphones simply for the fact that it's less convenient for him to use it. And how many things are we doing this with? Like, realistically, how many things are we choosing convenience over something that's way more functional? And I wanted to rant about this today because it's something I've been stepping actively away from, like convenience. Simply with things like Linux, using Linux, that is the complete opposite of convenience. And believe me, I'm the person coming directly from the Apple ecosystem, right? I had everything. I had the MacBook, I had the iPad, I had the AirPods. I didn't have the Apple Watch, but I had pretty much everything in that Apple ecosystem. I used Safari, I used Apple Mail, I used Apple Calendar, everything. Not only did I kind of lose faith in the whole company, Apple, this was a prime example of it. I had these for a while. This was one of the first more expensive pairs of headphones I bought, and I remember buying them as a reward for myself for achieving a couple things that I wanted to achieve at the time. And I bought these with the thought that these are going to last forever. About a year goes by and they start breaking on me. I start getting this crackling noise in my ear, and I go to replace them. Apple were fantastic. They replaced them instantly for me when I was there, and I had a new pair of headphones for about a year until the crackling began again. And then the process continued, and once again they were extremely helpful and they helped me out, and they gave me a new pair. Fast forward another year, crackling appears again. And that's where I'm left with these now, because they would not replace them for a third time. I had to pay about half the price of a new pair of these. And to me, that was ridiculous. I mean, the price tag of these things was ridiculous. And it's just the whole idea that there's been a lot of convenience put into these, right? They work. You take them out, they're instantly connected. You're listening. They sound decent. They do have a genuinely decent sound. So you're not really compromising on the sound part, but you're compromising on a lot of other stuff just to have convenience. All of that for the price of £250 or wherever they were when I bought them, and some annoying times where you really wanted to listen to music, but these just kept crackling. Now, this whole discussion is I want to outline some of the things I've stepped away from in terms of convenience-wise. So I told you about Linux, using Linux. That is the complete opposite of the Apple ecosystem that I had. I've had to rebuild this convenience for myself, but it's given me much greater satisfaction doing so. And a lot of people will laugh at the fact that, the Linux browser meme is one of the greatest memes of all time. People will laugh at the fact that, hey, you spend most of the time playing with your Linux system just to make it run well. Yes, but my excuse for that is I actually really enjoy doing that, and I think the best thing about it is that it keeps my mind busy, it keeps my mind active, it keeps me thinking. It means I have to learn something new, because having to learn Linux is, wow, that's a beast of itself. It's an incredibly difficult task, in my opinion. You may be way more advanced than me, and it might be easy peasy lemon squeezy for you, but not for me, sir. I'm not that advanced. So it keeps my mind active, and it keeps me thinking more, which I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of any time I have to use my brain, because I don't feel like it's going to waste. Another thing that I kind of stepped away from the convenience was the Kindle. I've installed custom firmware on here that allows me to use Co-Reader, which is an amazing open source app for reading books and ebooks. And I've actively chosen to step away from purchasing books from Amazon, simply because I don't like what they're doing. And I do not like how much they're trying to lock this whole ecosystem, which I completely understand. From a business point of view, it's obviously the right move, but from a human point of view, which is considered less and less the more we go along, I've decided to step away from that place, and I'm going to look for alternative places to purchase my ebooks. But I'm removing this convenience for the sake of just feeling more human again. The ultimate goal of convenience is going to turn us into WALL-E people, right? They're people that indulged in convenience for their entire life. And that's what we're all heading towards if we keep doing that. And lastly, I want to leave you with the point that convenience is really coming at the cost of you nowadays. A lot of apps and things are free nowadays. It's all free. Yeah, you can get this for free, and you don't have to pay here. You just have to make an account, put your little email in there, put your location, maybe, I don't know, your social security number, maybe, your favorite pizza, or when you go to eat the pizza, or what you watch when you're on the toilet. Please give me that information, and you can have this app for free. May sound weird, but that's essentially what happens with pretty much everything we use nowadays. That's just the way it is. That's because we are now becoming the product. We are becoming the thing that makes these companies money. That's why it's free, because it's not really free. You are the product, and it's just a little thing to go by in life. If you see something that's free, that usually means you're the product. And that's a good thing to go by, generally. But there's also the free and open source software side, which is something I'm dabbling in more often. And that's something that's a little bit more human. But I'm not going to go on about that in this video. Maybe that will come in a future video. But the whole message I wanted to get across with this now 11-minute video is... think about it. Is this convenience something I need in my life? Do I want this convenience? Like, the obvious answer is always going to be yes, I want this convenience. I want food to be delivered directly to my stomach. Now, no cooking, just calories. Like, do you want something like that? Do you want to be this automated sludge walking around? Or do you want to be a human? Do you want to live? Do you want to work for something? Do you want to put purpose in your life? Do you want these things that you use, like this phone that you use, or this tablet that you use, this headphone? Do you want to be used by it, or do you want to use it? I know this is some conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat stuff, but do you want to be the product, or do you want to use the product you paid money for? Sometimes convenience isn't as good as it seems. Sometimes convenience is a ridiculously long contract with very suspicious looking text at the end of it. Another thing I wanted to get off my chest today, another rant out of the way. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of this. Maybe you are now going to consider moving away from these convenient things, this Apple ecosystem. By all means, if you need it to be productive in your life, that's your choice. You can do it. You know, there is the whole argument that what I'm doing is basically wasting time whilst others are getting things done. But everyone lives their life their way. Life is short. You should kind of enjoy it as well. So with that, if you enjoyed the episode, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Let me know what you would change, what you thought of it. And if you want to see more videos on these topics, on these things, on anything that I talked about here or before, then leave a sub. I'll see you in the next video, and stay away from convenience because we'll end up like Wall-E people.